Hello, today we got a very huge guest with us. Recently, one of the biggest person in the Cosmos Hub community, Magnus, also known as Magmar, and today we'll have a small discussion about the Cosmos Hub.
Hey, yes, I'm Magnus. Excited to chat about it.
Thank you for coming to us. I hope we'll get a great info about the Cosmos and its future. So, can you please tell for all our viewers about who you are, what is the Skip organization, and all these things to make it clear?
Yeah, sure. Skip was essentially, sorry, I also realized there's like a flashing light here. But anyways, Skip was a company that we founded about 3.5 years ago. We started on Terra. Initially, we were building MEV solutions, so basically plugins into Comet VFT that let you capture more value as a validator via fair and democratized on-chain auctions. Over time, we transitioned our product suite to focusing much more on interoperability. And so we built something called Skip Go, which right now powers like 80+% of the IBC volume. It lets people route easily between different chains. People might have experienced it with ibc.fun. That's our front end for Skip Go. And yeah, I mean, as of 2 months ago, we were acquired by the ICF, and we are now the Interchain Labs. So the way to think about it is the ICF is a nonprofit foundation that has a lot of resources that were generated by the ICO of Atom, and then we are the execution entity. So the ICF essentially funds the ICL, and the ICL's mandate is to grow Cosmos and to grow not just the tech stack of Cosmos, but also the value of Cosmos, the community of Cosmos, the number of applications in Cosmos, and starting with the Cosmos Hub, right? Since it's a central factor in that mission.
Great introduction. So the next question would be like how this integration of Skip became, like what was the process? Because I remember that probably in some autumn period, people just mostly informal teams said that we are leaving the current hub process and we will see a new team coming. So how this process was to join the hub as a leading organization?
So it's a long story. I think the short version of it is we really care about Cosmos, and we had an opportunity to build. We thought Cosmos was failing in some ways, and that those failures needed to have responsibility taken for them at the highest level, at the ICF, right, which is the highest level. Because we didn't know the ICF and we didn't know that we could have impact there, we felt like the strongest thing to do would have been to try to create our own version of Cosmos so that the vision could live on in a new way. And the vision is the Internet of blockchains. But the ICF actually was, once we did start chatting to them, they were very interested in having us execute that vision with them in parallel. And the ICF brought a lot to the table, right? Tremendous resources, a long history as a nonprofit foundation in Switzerland, which is valuable. And I think they recognized that they needed a execution arm to actually make the kind of impact that they wanted. And so because we were able to align with the ICF in terms of the overall vision, they were really excited about working with us directly. And so that's what we did.
Okay. You mentioned the failure of Hub. What is, in your opinion, the reasons of it? and why we like in this position now?
I mean, I wouldn't say the hub has failed. It definitely has not failed. The hub has survived, right? There's a very big difference between like failure and survival.
Yeah.
Failure is when something I think dies in this case, right? I view Cosmos as a massive success in many ways. It had a vision. It has been relentlessly pursuing that vision. The vision was an open and free internet, an internet of blockchains, powered by a next generation blockchain stack, including IBC, Comet BFT / Tendermint, Cosmos SDK, Cosmosm. And despite the efforts of billions of dollars in competitive centralized ecosystems, Cosmos has survived, right? Because that vision is strong and people believe in it. And so Atom was designed to be at the core of that vision initially. It always should have been. Because of, I think, mostly people issues, it could not move forward, and it did not really develop into anything other than a basic Cosmos chain. It never performed any hub-like activities. But still, people associated Atom with Cosmos. And they thought that Atom's success was pivotal to Cosmos' success, and vice versa. So that association is so strong that it's really impossible to take away. And when people think of a vision, they need a central point that they can associate with, right? They want a way to buy and to invest in the vision. And the way that they invest is Atom, right? So what our job, we believe, is essentially to make the Cosmos Hub into what it was designed to be, which is a central point in the vision. And if we're building the Internet of Blockchains, the first thing that you need is a router, right? You need some place that is a central connection point into this new internet. And that is the Cosmos Hub to us. That's what we want to build it into.
Skip came into the Cosmos Hub not a long time ago, and what are you currently doing? Like basically, how the things now?
So like the things that we're working on right now, a couple things. One of the things that we're doing is we have taken over maintenance of all the core pieces of technology. So Comet BFT, Cosmos SDK, Cosmosm, IBC, and we are accelerating towards the new versions of those pieces of software. So in the case of Cosmos SDK, we are accelerating towards a version that has a bunch of features that people have been asking for years, like EVM signing, right? Being able to use MetaMask natively with your EVM or with your Cosmos SDK. In the case of Comet, we're working to massively accelerate block times down to less than 2 seconds on average, right? Speed up every chain by 3x. On IBC, we're building this new version of IBC called IBC v2, which lets you connect IBC directly into Ethereum, Solana, Sui, Aptos, anywhere you want to go. And then Cosmosm, we're basically making sure is safe so that we can deploy it on the Cosmos Hub. Those are just the foundational technology components. The second piece of all of this is what we're working on the Cosmos Hub specifically, right? And also the ecosystem efforts around the Cosmos Hub. That's where I'm mostly involved. So the first thing is figuring out what it means to be aligned with the Cosmos Hub, to be in the Cosmos Hub's orbit, right? So some people call this atom alignment. To me, it's a very simple thing, right? It basically means that as your application gets more popular and used, there's some value going back into Atom. So we're making some huge progress with a lot of the new applications coming out to having them be sort of inside this Atom orbit. And giving those teams extra attention and extra help to make sure that they're successful in the form of liquidity, in the form of investment, in the form of marketing and exposure. And then we're also building a product on the Cosmos Hub that lets it become what it was designed to be, this router for the internet, which is called Highway. And I can't share too much about that now because I want to let our marketing team share, but it's going to be a next generation version of connectivity within blockchains that I think is just going to be like years ahead of any other bridge, any other connection protocol. And it's not just for Cosmos, but makes the hub a router for all of crypto, and then ideally all of non-crypto too. So we're very excited about this, and most of our efforts are going towards building that right now.
That sounds amazing because I think it will make Atom even bigger than it now, and I think we will see more projects coming to the other networks, for example, but being built on the Cosmos ecosystem, by the way. Can you speak a bit about which issues Cosmos Hub having now? Like people asking a lot why the price so low, what is going on, what we will see next. A lot of people saying Atom will be $1 soon. So like how we came into this situation?
I'm not going to comment on the price of Atom. I can't, unfortunately. I mean, what I can say is, the market decides the price of Atom. We don't decide.
Yeah, of course. I just mean that the price somehow connected to the current ecosystem activities and all the stuff, and of course we cannot affect directly on the price. So, but basically we got something that put us in some bad situation like we got now, I think.
Yeah. I mean, again, I can't comment on the price of Atom, but what I can say is we are very focused on increasing usage of Atom, right? And so what we are definitely interested in doing is having applications use Atom in some way. And for those applications to use Atom in a way that is deflationary for Atom. So what I mean by that is, as the application gets used and more popular and has more transactions, that actually has the effect of taking of accumulating Atom in that application, right? And there's a lot of applications out there that are interested in this. Atom, we want to be the central asset, the central focal point that is used to power this router vision, right? It's going to be the thing that is necessary and the most, and essentially it's going to be required for this interconnectivity story, right? That doesn't mean that the user is going to have to hold Atom or the application is going to have to switch entirely to Atom. There will be many other tokens, an infinite number of tokens, but it does mean that Atom has a place in how that overall system works. And so, our mandate here is to basically increase the utility of Atom significantly and have it be tied to a major part of the Cosmos story, right? And that story is interconnectivity over IBC.
Okay. So also many people asking how to increase the revenue of the Cosmos Hub. We speak about it a bit like right now, but what will be the solution in this opinion? Like, for example, we see your messages in the chats, like we need better projects, better communication and all of the things, but does the Skip have a plan now to make it in the proper way?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just going to turn off my light because it was flashing. Okay, it's a little dark now, but it's okay. So I guess the first question is, what does revenue mean, right? The Cosmos Hub is not a company. And so what does it mean for it to make revenue, right? There's many ways that I think people think about that. The first is you can have some kind of fees that then go to the stakers and holders of Atom, or you can have Atom be deflationary, right? Which basically means as it gets used, Atom is taken off the market. And also you could have a strategic reserve, right? And the fees or some other form of revenue would go to this pool of money that then the Atom community can spend, right? I think what we've learned is having things accumulate into one bucket, like the community pool, is not very effective. It doesn't actually benefit anyone. And generally the projects that go to the community pool are not good projects. Usually, there's of course exceptions. And so that doesn't feel very useful, right? The second question is, well, what if we get sent all of these tokens into our wallets, right? In the fees or something like that. They essentially increase the staking APR. I think what we've realized is that actually is also not effective. People don't really respond to, okay, now I have 50 different tokens with like 2 to 3 cents of each, right? Because Atom is a huge holder base. And so you need to have a lot for that to really add up to something meaningful. And so I think the thing that is the most exciting, and the thing that makes sense to me, is having Atom have real utility and creating many more applications where you can use it, and having those applications take the Atom off the market, right? And accumulate their own stores of Atom, which they can use if they want to, but also makes them more aligned with Atom and the Cosmos Hub over time, right? Every day it's like they're more aligned. That I think is the best way to, one, have Atom distributed more into the ecosystem and locked into different places. And two, basically create this more cohesive community around Atom aligned chains. So that I think is the most exciting. And it's not revenue per se, but it has the maybe perhaps an effect, or it's maybe similar in some way.
Okay, so that basically means, like, for example, a Hydro protocol is one of the good examples of good applications which using Atom to make it better for users with a higher PR and blocking it for some period. And we can probably see in future some other options like Hydro or some other applications like that.
Yeah, so for example, ELYS protocol, or Shade protocol, or even Side protocol. These are applications that when you use them, they accumulate Atom. They take Atom, right? They buy Atom. And so as more people use these products, the protocol accumulates more Atom, right? So for every $3,000 of trading volume on ELYS, $1 of Atom is purchased, right? And if ELYS did the kind of trading volume that Hyperliquid does, billions of dollars a day, you can do the math, right? And so our interest, that's millions of dollars of Atom purchasing, right? So part of what we want to do is find really good applications like that are Atom aligned, and then support them and help them grow and help them find users and help them have liquidity and all those different things.
Okay. I would like to also speak about the marketing part of the Cosmos Hub, because as we speaking with other people, many of them just don't know about the Cosmos Hub totally, like completely. They know, for example, Solana, Cardano, Polkadot, everything, but not the Cosmos Hub, because it's generally not having a marketing part in it from the start. Will we see some changes in that corner?
On marketing?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we have a CMO now, and we have a marketing team. The way that we're starting, I mean, we have access to a lot of the major channels that people look at, like at Cosmos, at Interchain. And we're making sure that we're more active on those and that we're also showing up at the places where people are, right? So that includes conferences. I'll be at ETH Denver in 2 weeks. That includes, any kind of like social events. It includes also like having a presence locally in different areas, whether that be Nigeria, like Cosmos Hub Nigeria, or Korea, or Europe, or New York City. You want to make sure that we're having like active local communities, right? Because ultimately, you can market all you want, but if you're not finding people who invest in the mission and want to tell other people about it, it's not very effective. So really what we're trying to do is, one, first make it all make sense to people, make it simple, make the Cosmos Hub a real part of the Cosmos story, because everyone kind of knows about Cosmos somewhere, right? Usually. So basically to tell that story and then have those people go out and tell other people about it so that they can also find people who align with the vision, right? And it's nice for me because I get to work on something where I actually believe in what we're doing. Like I actually believe that Cosmos is vital to the world because it's really important to have an open, decentralized internet standard. Like price aside, right? Whether you're going to get rich aside on something, like this has to survive, right? And like what I've seen in crypto over the past 4 years is everything is getting more centralized and corporate. And that's not good, right? That's like literally not good. That's not why we did this in the first place. That's not why I left my job in a centralized corporate company to come work here, right? I came here because I believed in actually creating a standard for something that could survive the test of time long after I'm dead and still sort of maintain like the freedom of speech and the freedom of communication that the internet was designed to have originally. And so I think about these things on a very long-term perspective. Like to me, this is really important. And I think there's other people who believe that too. And finding those people and helping them find other people is my priority when it comes to marketing.